It was raining heavily one evening on a Tuesday. A very handsome billionaire, Bassey, and his friends had just finished celebrating one of his friends' increase at work. Bassey and his friends had entered the car as they wanted to return back home. But the moment Bassey tried to move the car, he noticed that there was something preventing him from moving. He tried, and it felt like he was climbing on top of something. And that was when Bassey decided to stop. But the moment he came down from his car and went to the front of his car, lo and behold, there was a girl in front of the car. She was drenched. She looked pale. Her hands were cold. She wasn't even moving. And beside her was her tray filled with different fruits. Bassey was lost, confused, and shaken. He quickly asked his friends, "Did we do this?" His friends, thank God, Samuel and Jonathan told him, "We didn't. It's better we enter our car and zoom off before people will gather here and think that we did this to this lady." But Bassey couldn't. He couldn't imagine leaving this lady under the rain. He wasn't even certain if he did it. When Bassey got home that day, he sat down and tried to process everything. So this lady wasn't even concerned. She wasn't even bothered about her niece that had gone missing for a period of 1 year, 3 months. That's terrible. But he made up his mind that he was going to tell Asa who she was, her name, so that she doesn't go around still calling herself Asa. So that evening, while we were having dinner, he quickly looked at Asa and was smiling at her. Asa looked at him and said, "Why are you smiling? Is there anything? Is there any good news? Did you buy me chocolates today?" Bassey laughed and said, "So the only reason why I smile at you is when I buy you chocolate?" Asa said, "Yes. Is that not why you always smile?" And Bassey said, "No, I did not buy you chocolates. In fact, the doctor said you shouldn't take chocolate anymore." Asa rolled her eyes and said, "Okay, so why are you smiling?" And Bassey looked at her and said, "Your name is Iberechukwu." Asa looked at him and said, "Really? You found my people?" And Bassey said, "Yes, I have. I have found your people." Asa was really glad, and she turned and told him, "Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you." And she asked him, "So when are we going to go and meet them?" Bassey was shocked. So even with her name, is it that she can't remember who she really is? Can't she even remember her auntie? Was it really advisable to take her back to that trenches where no one really cared about her? Bassey smiled and said, "Don't worry. When you're ready, I'll take you there." Asa said, "Okay, you said you're traveling for a trip tomorrow. Don't worry, go well. You're going to achieve that contract. When you return, you're going to take me there." And Bassey said, "No problem." After they were done eating, they returned back to their rooms. But Bassey stood by Asa's room door. He heard her screaming for joy. She was glad, and he couldn't just imagine how she's so happy to be returning back home. Meanwhile, the people at home don't even care about her. He couldn't withhold the truth from her, so it was better telling it to her. The next morning, while Bassey was leaving, he was heading to the airport as he needed to travel quick to Lagos to finalize a contract. Asa couldn't let go of his hands. She kept on saying, "When are you coming back?" 2 days. Don't make it more than 2 days, please." Bassey looked at her and said, "Why are you saying this? Are you going to miss me, or you can't wait to go and see your people?" Asa said, Everything. You know I don't like staying in this house only me. And at the same time, I still want to go and see my people. They would have been looking for me now. 1 year." And Bassey said, "Okay, no problem. I'll make sure I tidy up everything quick and fast so I can take you to go and see your people." As I said, "Thank you very much." And Bassey left. Bassey was able to finalize the contract. Like usual, he won it. This was a back-to-back winning in every role ever since Asa came into his life. Asa was waiting for him in the airport. She had asked the driver that she followed to go and pick him up from the airport. Asa was glad that he had returned. And the next day, Bassey took Asa to go see her auntie, as he remembered the road to her auntie's house. On getting to her auntie's house, the moment she saw her auntie, Asa fell down immediately, more like she was in a trance. Everything came back. Asa shut her eyes for a long time and started screaming, "No, no, 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 no." Bassey held her tight, trying to understand what was going on. And that was when Asa finally realized and remembered who she truly was. She was that lady that was constantly maltreated by her auntie. She sent herself to school by herself. Yes, she was done with her HND, but all those achievements, she did it herself. Her auntie constantly maltreated her, belittled her, and often reminded her that she was the only person that agreed to take care of her after her both parents abandoned her. So she had to stay with her auntie, as she had no other place to go. Even when she tried to sell off all her auntie's fruits, rather than her auntie appreciating her auntie would tell her, "Where have you been? Other people that went out to sell fruits since morning had returned. Why are you returning now? I know you've gone to see those boyfriends of yours." Out of this time, Asa knew no one. She knew no man. But the constant beating, the constant slaps from her auntie, those were the things that reminded her of her pain. When her auntie Mama Dinaka saw her, she screamed like as if she was excited to see her. "Eberechi, welcome." Huh. I never knew that this young man was going to stay true to his words. He said you were owing him, and now he has brought you back. He has paid me my 20,000 and more though, so it's you that is going to pay him whatsoever he asks you to do in order to pay him that money. Be ready to do it though. Bassey stood confused, trying to understand what was going on here. Was she not happy to see her, or she was happy to see her? Asa looked at her auntie and knelt down immediately and apologized to her auntie, and quickly told her auntie everything that happened that day. How she was trying to cross the road but never saw a car coming, and the car hit her and kicked her to another side of the road. And this young man here was the person that saved her life, and this young man has been the person taking care of her. Mama Odinaka quickly thanked Bassey, but told Bassey that she does not know how to repay him because she has no money. Bassey looked at her and said, "Okay, no problem. I did not do it so that you could repay me. I'm just glad that she has found her family back." Bassey then told Mama Odinaka, "The only thing I want from you is for you to approve of our marriage." Asa was shocked. Which marriage? Without hesitation, Mama Odinaka approved of the marriage and told Bassey, "You can get married to her. You've been the one taking care of her for 1 year. So what's there? Finish sending her to school. She needs to do her HND too in order to become something in life. I don't have any issue with it, because if you accumulate all the money you've been using to take care of her, the hospital bill and everything, it's already enough for her diary, plus the money you've given to me, so you can get married to her." Asa was lost. Is my auntie selling me out? But she couldn't say anything. She was already indebted to Bassey. She closed her mouth. So when they were done with her auntie, I think Bassey was 100% sure not to do was to mention his full name. He didn't want to keep any close relationship with her auntie, knowing fully well that the auntie does not appreciate Asa. And keeping such a human being close to him was keeping a liability, a parasite that will keep on receiving. So he just appreciated the auntie, took Asa and left. While they were in the car, Asa looked at him and said, "Why do you want to get married to me?" Bassey smiled and said, "Don't you want to get married to me?" Asa was confused. She had never developed any romantic feeling towards Bassey. She just saw him as a nice person, as a caring person. She even saw him more like a senior brother. But she never knew that all along, Bassey liked her. Bassey said, "Okay, no problem. even if you don't want to get married to me, I still don't want you to stay in your auntie's house. Whenever you decide to start going back to school, you can go back to school. If you want to get married to anybody much later in life, then you can. Asa smiled and said, thank you. And when they got back home that day, Asa thought about everything. She remembered her pain, her ordeal. She remembered everything, how life was for her back with her auntie. She understood why it was so difficult for her to remember. More like her body didn't want to remember those painful days. But now she had passed those days. With the life she has lived in Bassie's house, she can't even return back to such a life. It was going to be difficult for her to fit into that world. So she made up her mind that she was going to go finish her school. With the help of Bassie, Asa was able to finish school, not as a medical doctor that she dreamt of, but she had to finish reading what she already started in school. She had studied health information management while going to Polytechnic, so she had to round up with that, and when she was done, she decided that she was going to go for a second degree, to which Bassie supported her, gave her every necessary support she needed. And it didn't take long. Asa gradually started developing feelings for Bassie. She had seen that he was a nice person. He genuinely cared about her. Aside the fact that he rescued her, Bassie enjoyed her company. Whenever he was around, he always wanted them to have fun activities. It was either they cooked together, they played together, ate together. He had never treated her like a nobody. He often admired her from a distance. In fact, all along, while she was in Bassie's house, even before Bassie found out about her identity, his maid referred to her as small madam. So Bassie had always liked and appreciated her. And with the passing days, Bassie had invited his parents over as he wanted to make everything formal. Asa has accepted to get married to him. His lucky charm had accepted to get married to him. His parents kept on asking various questions. Bassie was always to her defense. No matter the question they asked, and Asa tried to respond, Bassie always stood by her. His parents knew that Bassie liked her, and they could see that she was a very nice person. Whatsoever advice she gives to him whenever he was traveling for a business contract, provided he applies it, he gets to win that contract. So to him, Asa was his good luck charm. Bassie never lost any contracts after their marriage. Bassie and his family loved and appreciated her. Diamond Granite Construction Company grew to be a global company. It was that company everyone wanted to work with. They were known for authenticity and they kept to their words. They never ever failed any customer. Bassie and Asa lived in peace and harmony, loving one another. Something Asa never did was to forget her auntie. Even if her auntie had forgotten her, Asa made sure to always extend a hand of help to her auntie, knowing fully well that she really never knew her parents. All she knew when she was growing up was her auntie. Even if her auntie had maltreated her, her auntie still sheltered her. Thank you very much for listening to this beautiful story. I really hope you enjoyed listening to it. I'd like you to share what you've learned from the story. Please and please do not forget to share our stories to your loved ones. And also, please do not forget to join our chairman membership. So we'll see you again in our next story. Bye for now.